I'm going to make this as a quick point before we continue on the video. All the music you're about to hear is going to be 100% from the game itself. There's 671 unique tracks, and they're so fire to the point of even if you've never played the game, you might have heard this track. This is Sea Shanty 2. It has become a meme as the most fire song on the internet, right? You can see memes of it all the time. You've probably seen the meme of the gnome baby face kid, whatever, gnome child, I think is what they call it, okay? That's from RuneScape 2. The reason you see these memes everywhere is because basically everyone's played this game at one point, and really, you ask people who have played it, they all love it. How many times have you asked somebody about a game they play and they say they hate it, but they still play it? Old school RuneScape is one of these things where it's people play it, and the longer they play it, the more they love it. The better it becomes for them. You could say it's addictive because it's good. It's not addictive because it's meant to be addictive. It's addictive as a byproduct of being a good product. It's not addictive as the primary narrative behind the source of the game. It's not a gacha game where the point is to get addicted. The point of the game is to make the hero what you want him to be. When you log into the game, you have level 1 in all your abilities, except for a few. And you have to determine what you want to do with your hero. You have to determine. When you get dropped off in just the main base. You get dropped off right in Lumbridge. I'm going to show you Lumbridge. I guarantee a lot of you guys will remember Lumbridge. When you show up in the castle, you have absolutely no idea what to do. You know why? Because it's one of the last real games that's an actual world, not a linear path of progress. When you show up here for your first time in old school RuneScape, you're going to see exactly what you're seeing right now. This is right where you spawn. You're probably actually going to be seeing the roofs on because I have roofs disabled, which is one of the most common things people do in this game is they disable the roofs. But I'll go to all settings and I'll show you real quick here. Hide roofs back on. There you go. You're going to be dropped off here. And if you go over something, it will disable the roof so you can see inside of it. That's why it might be flickering. But you're going to be dropped off here and you're probably going to wonder what the heck is going on. And you have all these skills. Well, what's going on is welcome to a world. It's not you are the hero and there's a dragon that's destroying this town. Although there is a dragon that's destroying the town. And if you want to, you can go deal with it. But you don't have to. And if you do deal with it, well, guess what? You're going to get a reward that signifies that you dealt with it. You can now wear a line of armor and people know, oh, that guy dealt with the dragon because he dealt with that line of armor. Or he has that line of armor equipped. It's the same thing with my cape you're seeing here. It's a 99 Herblore cape because I have maxed out my Herblore. One of the things I decided to do in this game was just master potion creation. So I went through and I mastered my potion making, okay? You might wonder, what's the point of making potions? Well, potions will increase your stats. Like I could sell them to people that do combat or PKing. What's PKing? Player killing, because there's PvP in this game. PvP is a huge part of it. There's a combat system, so as you raise your combat stats, you will raise your combat level. Meaning, if you choose to never do combat, you will remain at level 3, which is the base level that everyone is when they start in the game. And guess what? There's a whole community of people that never do any combat called skillers. They walk around with a bow equipped with no ammo. That way they can't accidentally attack people and gain experience accidentally. They want to show all of the accomplishments they've done with absolutely no combat. And there's a phenomenal amount of strategies they have to do to be able to achieve their perspective on which the world they land. That is what is unique about this game. You're in a world and there's not really a point to it. It is much like a game sort of, if you remember Star Wars Galaxies back in the day, before it became basically a trash game with the combat upgrade, there wasn't really a point. There was things you could do. You could train dancing, you could train music making, you could be a commando, you could eventually become a Jedi if you did enough of the things and accidentally found your way into that. I mean, you could go to Jabba's palace, you could build your own house and just decorate it. And that is what is missing in a lot of games these days. It's not, we don't always want to be the hero all the time. Sometimes we want to live in a world that has other heroes in the world as well. Maybe there's some level of shock that happens when we're always the person dominating everything. And I think that's sort of the calmness of RuneScape that it brings. It brings to you the world in which you wish you could live. It brings to you this level of peace because you really get to determine you yourself who you are, what you want to do, and it's fair. RuneScape's a fair place. You're going to make your own decisions. You're going to determine what kind of account you want, what skills you want to train. I mean, I have 92 construction because I've been working on my house a lot. You want to see my house? I can show you my house. Here you go. I have a house that other people can come in. I've had house parties where people will come in. I have a dungeon below, and no, it's not that kind of dungeon. It's an actual dungeon where you can fight monsters. I have a boss. I have a reward chest in it. That way people, when they fight the boss, they can get the reward from it. I can go, I can change my looks of my heroes and all that because I've invested a lot of money into this house. I've poured those all the way around the world. There is a lot of different locations in this world. There's different towns that you probably remember, like Verok, Falador, if you've ever played this game. The game's gorgeous. And the thing about the game is it's expanding. This game is not going away. It's not getting smaller. The players aren't shrinking. The players are growing. The reason why? Because sometimes progress in video games doesn't always mean better. Sometimes progress in video games is for the other side of the coin. Sometimes progress in video games means progress for the corporation and not for the people. Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards. And that is the point of old school RuneScape. They nail the point of an open world in an MMORPG. They nail the point of having different skills. They nail the pointlessness of having an ability just to flex, an emote just to flex that I maxed out a skill for every skill. There's no reason this needs to be in the game. The only reason it needs to be in the game is to separate myself from other people. And it is within your own unique personality that people find themselves enjoying sandbox games. No one plays a sandbox game to play exactly like the person that they just saw. Everyone plays a sandbox game to be themselves. And no other game in this world will ever let you be yourself like old school RuneScape. And no more accessible of a game in the world either. You can play this on basically a toaster. You can play this on any phone. You can play this on a PC or a Mac. This game is accessible to everyone because it's for everyone. And I honestly hope everyone in their life gets a chance to experience the joy that is old school RuneScape. You can either add me, my name is CHORZO, Chorzo, or you can join the clan chat, which is the same name, Chorzo. And I'll be in one or the other. You can leave me a message. I do actually play the game all the time, so it would be cool to see you guys in game. And this is the type of game where it doesn't matter what world you play on, so you can play on anything and we'll be able to play together. Don't worry when you make your hero, you can't get stuck on a server or anything like that. Just make your character, have fun. We'll all meet up in game if this is something you guys end up trying out. But I definitely am going to continue playing this game because I've been playing for 20 years. So if you can join me, I'd love to have you.